The Grand Council chamber stretched impossibly wide, filled with thousands of alien delegates from across the galaxy. Each species sat in their environmental sections, some floating in liquid tanks, others perched in high-gravity platforms. The air hummed with translation devices as hundreds of languages converted to a universal standard. In the center of it all stood one human, Kate Harris. Ambassador of Earth stood alone on the speaking platform, her simple blue uniform stark against the elaborate, ceremonial garb of the alien representatives. The council chamber fell silent as she approached the central podium. The massive curved walls displayed real-time images of her face, magnified for all species to see regardless of their visual capabilities. "We did not expect such boldness from your kind," hissed the presider, a tall insectoid being with compound eyes that shimmered under the chamber lights. Humans were granted observer status only. "You have no speaking rights here." Kate smiled slightly. "Ambassador Harris," she corrected. "I represent Earth as a sovereign power, not as an observer. And I have invoked Article 7 of the Galactic Charter, which allows any species facing extinction-level threats to address the full council." Murmurs rippled through. The Chamber Article 7 was rarely invoked. The last time had been nearly 3 centuries ago. The massive mantis-like presider clicked its mandibles in irritation. "There is no extinction-level threat to Earth. Our records show your planet is stable, and your species is under protection status class." 3 Kate nodded at her assistant, who transmitted data to the central display. A holographic image of Earth appeared, then zoomed outward to show a massive asteroid moving toward the planet. Calculations indicated impact within 62 days. This object was detected by our astronomers last week. Kate explained. "It is large enough to cause an extinction-level event and is on direct course for Earth. We request immediate assistance under Article 9, Section 4. The chamber erupted in voices. Some delegates were furious, others confused. The presider slammed its ceremonial staff against the floor, calling for order. "You cannot invoke Article 9, barked a delegate from the Serpentine Vorax Confederacy. "Humanity is not a full signatory to the Charter. You are still a protectorate species under development assessment." Kate remained calm as she pressed a button on her wrist device. The holographic display changed, showing historical records and documentation. "This is where things get interesting," she announced to the entire chamber. "Our investigation into the Charter archives reveals Earth signed the original Charter 700 years ago." Silence fell over the chamber. "Before we continue," Kate said, her voice carrying to every corner of the vast space, "I should introduce myself properly. I am Catherine Harris, Ambassador of Earth. Yes, but also Director of the Historical Reclamation Division of the Earth Defense Force." The display showed ancient cave paintings, star charts, and eventually sophisticated mathematical calculations dating back thousands of years. The delegates watched in growing confusion. 7 centuries ago, a delegation from Earth met with the founding members of what would become this council. Kate continued. "We were among the original 17 signatories to the Charter, but our inclusion was deliberately erased from official records." Outrage erupted through the chamber. The presider tried repeatedly to restore order while the Vorax delegate hissed accusations of human lies. Ambassador Harris continued undeterred. "Our archaeological teams discovered the truth in ruins beneath the Antarctic ice caps. We found technology not of Earth origin, and we found records detailed. Records of first contact agreements and signatures on the original charter. The massive central display showed images of excavations beneath ice sheets, ancient spacecraft, partially intact star charts that matched current galactic mapping systems. How could this be true?" demanded the Fallacian delegate. "Humans were discovered only 80 years ago. Your species was pre-spaceflight with minimal technological development." Kate tapped her device again, and the display changed to show genetic analyses. "This is where the story becomes troubling," she said. "Earth was not discovered 80 years ago. Earth was rediscovered after a deliberate attempt to set back our development." The chamber went completely silent. "Our scientists have found evidence of widespread genetic tampering approximately 1,200 years ago," Kate explained. "Something or someone deliberately altered human DNA to slow our technological development and erase certain memories from our collective consciousness, a delegate from the Crystalline Quartz Collective rose to speak. These are extraordinary claims, Ambassador. You accuse members of this council of violating the primary directive of non-interference with developing worlds. I accuse no one yet, Kate replied. But I do demand our rightful place at this council as founding members. And I invoke Article 12, which requires all council resources to investigate crimes against signatory species. The presider conferred hurriedly with advisors clearly struggling to maintain control of the increasingly chaotic situation. The ancient laws of the council were clear. If Earth could prove their claims, they would be entitled not just to asteroid defense, but to significant reparations and immediate full membership. Is this why your people have advanced so quickly in recent decades? Asked a delegate from the gaseous cloud entities known as the Mist Consciousness. You somehow overcame the genetic tampering. Kate nodded. Our scientists discovered the alterations 30 years ago and developed countermeasures. We have been quietly restoring our true capabilities. Since then, we have made significant leaps in technology development. To demonstrate, Ambassador Harris gestured to her assistant, who activated another device. A holographic human figure appeared beside Kate, perfect in every detail. The hologram walked among the delegates, indistinguishable from a real human. This is not projection technology, Kate explained. This is matter transmission and reconstruction. At quantum levels, we can now transport humans instantly across vast distances, the delegates murmured in surprise. Such technology was considered advanced even by council standards. The presider finally regained enough control to speak. We will need to investigate these claims, Ambassador. The council cannot simply accept your word that Earth was a founding member. Kate smiled. That is fair, she replied. But while you investigate, I remind the council that the asteroid approaching Earth remains a threat under charter rules. Even disputed claims require provisional assistance. The law is clear. The presider conferred with legal advisors while the chamber buzzed with conversation. Finally, the insectoid leader spoke. The council will dispatch vessels to intercept and redirect the asteroid as a provisional measure. We will also initiate an investigation into these historical claims. Kate bowed slightly. Thank you, presider, she said. As Earth awaits the findings, we have prepared a formal petition for immediate restoration of our signatory status. The documentation has been transmitted to all delegates as she spoke. Humans entered the chamber from various entrances. Each wore the same simple blue uniform. Each carried data devices. They moved with purpose, distributing among the alien delegates. The presider clicked in alarm. Unauthorized humans in the council. Chamber security, Kate raised a hand. These are Earth diplomatic staff, she explained. As a founding member, we are entitled to full diplomatic presence during deliberations regarding our status. The charter is very specific on this point. What truly alarms you? Presider Kate asked, her voice carrying throughout the chamber. That humans have entered your sacred space, or that we might actually have uncovered the truth about our past. The massive chamber had grown tense. Alien representatives watching the confrontation unfold. The humans now standing throughout the chamber remained calm. Their presence, a clear statement, Ambassador, the presider said finally. We will proceed according to charter regulations. The investigation will begin immediately. In the meantime, your diplomatic staff may remain as observers only. Not active participants. Kate nodded agreement. The investigation would take time. But humanity had waited centuries already. A few more weeks would make little difference. As the formal session concluded, Kate joined her team in the diplomatic antechamber assigned to Earth. The room was simple compared to the grand spaces allocated to full council members. Director. The mission was successful, reported Alan, her chief strategist. Our people are now positioned throughout the council complex. We have eyes and ears everywhere. Kate removed her formal diplomatic sash, revealing a military insignia beneath. Is the asteroid on schedule? She asked. Alan nodded. The redirected comet will pass exactly as planned within detection range of Earth, but miss by a safe margin. The council fleet will intercept it, believing they are saving us. Perfect. Kate replied. It gives us the time we need. The evidence we planted in Antarctica is holding up to initial scrutiny. Once we gain provisional membership status, we can access the restricted archives. What if they discover the truth? Asked a junior officer. That Earth was never actually a founding member, Kate smiled grimly. They won't, because by the time they complete the investigation, we'll have altered their own records. The beauty of our plan is its simplicity. We don't need to prove Earth was a founding member. We just need to create enough doubt to gain access. The team worked through the night preparing documentation and evidence. Their goal was not just council membership but access to technologies that had been denied, to humanity, control of their own destiny in a galaxy that had relegated them to the status of primitive newcomers, 3 levels below the council chambers. The council station rotated slowly against the backdrop of stars. Its massive ring structure housed representatives from over 4,000 worlds. Kate Harris stood in the observation deck watching alien ships dock and depart in carefully choreographed patterns. 3 days had passed since her dramatic appearance before the council. The investigation into Earth's claims continued, while council defense ships raced toward the approaching asteroid director. We have a problem. Laura West, head of intelligence, approached with a data tablet. Our infiltration team discovered something unexpected in the restricted archives. Kate took the tablet, scanning the information. Her expression darkened as she read. This changes everything, she said softly. The data revealed that Earth had indeed been visited centuries ago, but not as equals. The planet had been designated as a biological reserve, a living laboratory where the dominant species could be studied and occasionally modified. 7 different advanced civilizations had conducted genetic experiments on early humans. They treated us like lab animals. Kate said, her voice tight with controlled anger. The genetic tampering wasn't to hold us back, it was to push us forward. Selective breeding programs they were creating. Weapons, Laura nodded. The Vexor Dominion was using early Earth to develop soldiers, adaptive warriors who could survive extreme conditions. Then the Council discovered their program and shut it down. The memory wipes and genetic restrictions were meant to be humanitarian, to let humans develop naturally. Kate paced the observation deck, processing this revelation. So our claim about being founding members, it's completely false, Laura confirmed. But we've found something much more valuable. Leverage. The intelligence team had uncovered records of other worlds treated similarly. Planets where promising species were exploited as biological resources. Some uplifted to serve as soldiers, others kept deliberately primitive to study natural evolution. Each violation of the Council's own ethical standards carefully hidden in restricted archives. Kate made her decision quickly. Gather the team, she ordered. We're changing our approach. 2 hours later, in the secure Earth diplomatic quarters, Kate briefed her staff. We no longer need the founding member story, she explained. Instead, we've found evidence of widespread ethical violations against Earth and 17 other worlds. The Council has broken its own most sacred laws. The team reviewed the evidence with growing anger. No wonder they tried to restrict our development, said Alan. They were covering up centuries of interference. Kate laid out the new strategy. Tomorrow, I return to the Council chamber, not as a petitioner, but as an accuser. We demand recognition for Earth and all other exploited worlds, a seat at the table and access to all technologies denied to us. A junior diplomat raised her hand. What about the asteroid? It's still approaching Earth. The Council ships won't reach it for another. Kate smiled. The asteroid was never going to hit us, she revealed. It was a manufactured crisis to force the Council to acknowledge us and begin the investigation. Without it, we'd never have gained access to the restricted archives. Now we don't need that pretense. We have something far more powerful. The next morning, the Council chamber was filled to capacity. Word had spread that the human ambassador had requested an emergency session. The presider looked distinctly uncomfortable as Kate approached the central podium. Honored delegates, Kate began. My appearance yesterday was based on incomplete information. I claimed Earth was a founding member of this council. That claim was incorrect. Murmurs of vindication spread through the chamber. The presider relaxed visibly. Earth withdraws its petition, then it asked. No. Kate replied, her voice strong. We are replacing it with a formal accusation. The chamber erupted in shocked voices. Once again, Kate uploaded data to the central display. This time showing records of genetic experimentation on Earth and other worlds. We have discovered evidence that members of this council violated the Prime Directive of non-interference on 18 different worlds, including Earth. The displays showed irrefutable evidence dates species involved and the officials who authorized the violations. Some current council members were implicated, their names highlighted in the documentation. These violations constitute crimes under council law. Kate continued, Earth demands immediate recognition as a full council member alongside the 17 other exploited worlds. We further demand access to all technologies denied to us as reparation for these crimes. The presider slammed its staff repeatedly, trying to restore order. The Vorax representative rose, hissing furiously. These archives are restricted. How did humans gain access? This is another deception. Kate remained calm. Under emergency provisions invoked for the asteroid threat, our diplomatic staff was granted temporary access to verify our founding member status. Instead, we found evidence of these crimes. Our legal experts confirmed that under Section 28 of the Charter, all restricted access becomes void when evidence of council crimes is discovered. The presider conferred urgently with legal advisors. The human was unfortunately correct. The ancient laws had been written with many checks and balances, including provisions for exposing corruption. The hall fell silent as the presider addressed the chamber. These accusations will require investigation. Ambassador Harris, you understand the severity of your claims. Some of our oldest and most respected members stand accused. Kate nodded. We understand. And while your investigation proceeds, Earth invokes Article 42, the provision for emergency membership during times of institutional crisis. The legal advisors whispered frantically to the presider, who seemed increasingly agitated. Article 42 was rarely invoked, but the law was clear. When the council itself stood accused of systemic violations, all affected parties were granted provisional full membership until the matter was resolved. The presider had no choice. The ancient laws that had governed galactic civilization for millennia now worked against the established powers. The provisions designed to prevent corruption and ensure justice were being used by the humans with devastating effectiveness. The Council grants provisional membership to Earth and the other identified worlds pending investigation. The presider announced each world may send a full diplomatic contingent and will have access to standard Council technologies and databases. Kate bowed in acknowledgement. We accept provisional status, she said, and we request immediate technological assistance to protect Earth from any potential threat. While the asteroid currently approaching will miss our planet, we have identified other space-based hazards that require attention. What she didn't say was that those hazards were manufactured by Earth, just as the asteroid had been. Humanity needed justification to receive advanced defensive technologies, and they would use every loophole to get them. As Kate left the council chamber, she was met by representatives from several powerful council factions. Their body language made clear their displeasure at being outmaneuvered by a supposedly primitive species ambassador. A tall, blue-skinned diplomat from the Syrian Union approached. This dangerous game you're playing will have consequences. The council does not respond well to threats. Kate stopped facing the alien diplomat. This is not a game, she replied. The violations against Earth and other worlds were real. Whether your ancestors performed these experiments or merely covered them up, the responsibility remains. The council must face its past. The Syrian leaned closer, its voice lowered. Do you truly believe 18 provisional members can stand against 4,000 established worlds? Your victory today is symbolic at best, Kate smiled. Actually, we believe the evidence we found is just the beginning. There are likely hundreds of worlds with similar histories. Once they learn what was done to them, symbolic might become something much more substantial. The Syrian withdrew its skin, flushing a darker blue, a sign of alarm in its species back in the Earth diplomatic quarters, now officially upgraded to a full embassy suite. Kate debriefed her team. We have 48 hours before the provisional membership is formalized, she explained. That gives us 2 days to access every technology database we can. While they think we're busy with diplomatic preparations, we need to download everything. Our priority targets are defensive systems, propulsion technologies, and communication networks. Alan reminded the team, we need to understand how the Council monitors and controls its member worlds. Laura displayed a holographic map of the Council station, highlighting secure data centers. Our infiltration teams are already in position, she reported. The provisional status gives us access to most areas, but the highest security zones will still require specialized methods. Kate nodded. We're not just gathering technology, she reminded. Then we're looking for allies. The 17 other worlds identified in the archives are natural partners, but we need more. The power blocks within the Council are complex. We've disrupted the status quo. Now we need to exploit the resulting instabilities. The team prepared for the massive intelligence gathering operation. Kate took a moment alone, staring out at the stars. The path ahead was dangerous. Earth was playing a high-stakes game with powers that had dominated the galaxy for thousands of years. A message alert sounded on her personal device. It was from Earth Command, encrypted at the highest level. Kate activated the secure channel. Alarms blared throughout the Council station. Emergency lights pulsed as security forces rushed through corridors. Kate Harris strode purposefully toward the main chamber, flanked by her diplomatic team. The evidence files had been uploaded to public networks, causing chaos as citizens of thousands of worlds learned the truth about Council experiments on developing species. Halt armored security personnel blocked the corridor. Their weapons were drawn. The station is under lockdown. No one enters. The Council chamber. Kate faced the guards calmly. As a provisional member representative, I have diplomatic immunity and Council access rights, she stated, even during security lockdowns. Article 17, Section 9 is quite clear on this matter. The guards hesitated, clearly receiving conflicting orders through their communication systems. While they wait for clarification, Laura whispered, we have reports of riots on 12 Council worlds. The information is spreading faster than they can contain. Kate nodded slightly. They never expected to be held accountable, she replied quietly. For thousands of years they've operated above their own laws. Finally, the security commander received definitive orders. The guard stepped aside. Ambassador Harris, you may proceed, the Council awaits. The massive chamber was in disarray. Many delegate seats were empty. Others were engaged in heated arguments. Security personnel lined the walls. The normal ceremonial atmosphere had been replaced by tension and fear. As Kate approached the central podium, the presider gavelled frantically for order. This unauthorized information release is a direct attack on Council security. It declared, Ambassador Harris, your provisional status is suspended pending investigation. Into this breach, Kate activated her diplomatic access codes, bringing her own data to the central displays. I invoke Article 29, she announced, her voice carrying through the chamber. When evidence of Council crimes is made public, all normal procedures are suspended. An emergency truth commission must be formed. The legal advisors were in disarray, some confirming her interpretation, others arguing against it. The ancient charter had never anticipated being used against the Council itself. Kate continued, speaking over the chaos. Honored delegates, we did not come here seeking conflict. We came seeking recognition and our rightful place among the stars. Instead, we found evidence of widespread violations against multiple species, including humanity. The displays showed images of early human settlements alongside genetic modification records, detailed plans to selectively breed humans for specific traits. The evidence was damning. Earth was designated Biological Reserve, HC7721. Kate explained. 17 different genetic modification programs were conducted on our ancestors without consent. We were treated as laboratory specimens, not as sentient beings with rights. The chamber had grown quieter as the delegates absorbed the evidence now. Council warships approach Earth. Kate continued, her voice harder. Even as we speak diplomatically here, your military vessels move against my homeworld. This is not the action of a civilization governed by law, but of one ruled by power and fear. The presider clicked its mandibles in agitation. Ambassador, those vessels were dispatched to assist with the asteroid threat. Kate laughed coldly. The asteroid that will miss Earth by 15 million kilometers. the one your own scientists have now confirmed, poses no threat. Yet 30 warships approach not on intercept trajectories but directly toward Earth itself, on the main display. Kate showed tracking data of the Council vessels, their courses clearly aimed at Earth. Not the asteroid. The delegates murmured in confusion. Many had not been informed of this military deployment. A new voice spoke from the gallery. We, too, have found evidence of interference. The delegate from Proxima 4 stood. This explains why our development was restricted for centuries while neighboring systems advanced, another delegate rose. Our world was subjected to atmospheric modification experiments without our knowledge. The records are clear. One by one, representatives from worlds identified in the leaked documents spoke out, each confirming they had found evidence of Council interference in their development, each demanding recognition and reparation. The presider struggled to maintain control as more delegates joined the growing rebellion. The careful political balance of the Council was collapsing. Kate addressed the chamber again. Earth proposes an emergency resolution. She announced, we call for immediate recognition of all affected worlds, full membership status, and a comprehensive review of Council governance. We further demand the immediate recall of all military vessels approaching affected worlds. Before the presider could respond, the chamber lights flickered and dimmed. Emergency power activated as warning signals flashed. The station is under attack, shouted a security officer. All delegates must evacuate to secure areas. Kate received an urgent message on her device. She turned to Laura. What ships are attacking the station? She asked quietly. Laura checked incoming data feeds. None, she replied. This is something else. Massive power fluctuations throughout the station. Some kind of internal sabotage. The delegates were being escorted from the chamber by security forces. Kate and her team followed, watching carefully as the evacuation proceeded. The station shuddered again as another power surge hit. In the diplomatic wing, Kate gathered her team in their secure embassy area. What are we looking at? She demanded. Alan displayed a holographic model of the station. Key systems are being systematically disabled, he explained. Not destroyed, just temporarily offline. Security, communications, environmental controls. All failing in sequence. Is this US? Kate asked. No, Laura replied. Our operatives report. This is something else. Some kind of automated protocol, being activated from within the station's core systems. The station's communication system crackled to life. Attention all delegates and diplomatic personnel. The message came in the formal council language. This station is now under emergency preservation protocols. Ancient safeguards have been activated due to detection of fundamental charter violations. Control has been transferred to Guardian oversight. All delegates are required to return to the main chamber immediately. Kate looked at her team. In surprise, what's Guardian oversight? She asked. Alan shook his head. Our intelligence has no record of this. It's not in any of the files we accessed. The team made its way back to the main chamber, joining confused delegates from across the galaxy. The central podium was now occupied not by the presider, but by a holographic figure. Its form shifted between different species representations. I am Guardian Protocol 7. The figure announced, my systems have been dormant for 8,342 standard years, activated now by detection of Class 1 violations of the founding charter. The chamber was silent as the ancient system addressed them. The council was established to protect developing species, not to exploit them. The evidence indicates systematic violation of this primary directive. Corrective action is required. The presider approached the podium. Guardian. This is a misunderstanding. It protested. These are internal council matters that will be addressed through proper channels. The holographic Guardian turned toward the presider. Internal council matters cannot override founding charter principles, it replied. The evidence is conclusive. Multiple species, including humans, were subjected to unauthorized interference. Their development was manipulated for purposes contrary to council law. Kate watched in fascination as the ancient safeguard program continued. This station and all council facilities were constructed with emergency override systems, specifically to prevent the centralization of power and the violation of founding principles. The Guardian explained, "These systems have remained dormant as they should, but are now activated by the nature and scale of the violations." "What happens?" now Kate asked, stepping forward. The Guardian acknowledged her Earth representative. "You and other affected worlds are granted immediate full membership status. The military vessels approaching your worlds have been remotely disabled and will return to their bases. The Council will undergo restructuring to prevent future violations." The delegates erupted in protest or confusion, depending on their position. The ancient systems had powers none of them had known existed. Safeguards built into the very foundation of the Council, in the diplomatic wing. After the chaotic session, Kate debriefed with Earth Command via secure channel. "This Guardian protocol changes everything," she reported. "It appears the original founders of the Council built in protections against corruption. We inadvertently triggered those safeguards when we published the evidence fleet." Admiral Rivera nodded on the holographic display. "The Council ships near Earth have indeed powered down their weapons and propulsion. Systems are offline. Support vessels are moving to assist them. But can we trust this Guardian system?" Kate wondered. "Or are we exchanging one form of control for another?" Laura entered with new information. "Director, we found references to the Guardian protocols in the oldest archive sections," she reported. "According to these records, the original Council was formed by 17 species as a mutual protection pact. The protocols were designed to prevent any single species or faction from dominating other 17 species." Kate repeated, "The same number as the worlds we found were exploited. That's not coincidence, Al." The next 7 days transformed Galactic Civilization Council power structures collapsed. As the Guardian protocols systematically dismantled thousands of years of corruption, Kate Harris found herself at the center of a political maelstrom as representative of Earth, one of the 17 original founding species. "Director, the technology archives are incredible." Dr. Elaine Foster, chief of Earth's scientific delegation, reported. "Dimensional engineering, gravitational manipulation, even biological enhancement systems, all developed by our ancestors, and all deliberately kept from us." Kate reviewed the technical data on her tablet. The schematics showed technologies far beyond current human capabilities, yet somehow familiar, as if designed by minds that thought like theirs. The connection was undeniable. "How soon can we implement these systems?" she asked. Dr. Foster gestured to the holographic models. "Some immediately. The dimensional communication network can be established within days. Others will take months to fabricate. The Guardian protocol has provided fabrication schematics, but the most advanced systems require materials we don't currently possess." Kate nodded thoughtfully, making notes. The Guardian had opened all databases, but technological development would still take time. Earth needed allies, particularly among the other 16 founding species. World's A diplomatic alert chimed on her device. "Ambassador Kale from Proxima 4 requests a meeting," Laura reported. They were identified as another founding species world. "Send them in." Kate replied. Ambassador Kale entered, a tall humanoid with pale blue skin and silver eyes. His species resembled humans with subtle differences, evidence of their common ancestry before the genetic divergence. "Ambassador Harris." Kale began, his translator converting his melodic language to standard English. "Your revelation has changed everything for my people. For centuries we wondered why our development seemed unnaturally constrained, why technologies that should have been intuitive remained frustratingly out of reach." Kate gestured for him to sit. "The same manipulations affected all 17 worlds," she explained. "Our ancestors were systematically reduced to prevent us from reclaiming our heritage." Kale nodded. "The Guardian has confirmed this to our scientists as well. The Proximans and Terrans were especially close allies in the original Council. The historical records show our species collaborated on the most advanced technologies. That makes us natural partners now," Kate suggested. "Indeed," Kale agreed. "The other 15 worlds are also sending representatives. We propose a restoration alliance, a cooperative effort to redevelop our ancestral technologies and ensure the new Council structure prevents future abuses." Kate considered this carefully. The political landscape was shifting hourly as thousands of worlds adjusted to the new reality. Some Council factions resisted the changes, while others scrambled to align with the ascendant founding Species A Restoration Alliance makes sense, she agreed. But we need to move quickly. The Guardian protocols provide temporary stability, but the power vacuum creates dangers. Kale leaned forward, lowering his voice. Some former council powers are already attempting to circumvent the Guardian. They believe if they can disable the central station, the protocols will fail. This matched Earth's intelligence. Kate thought the old powers would not surrender easily. What do you propose? She asked. Kale activated a holographic display showing the 17 founding worlds highlighted among thousands of stars. The original council created a defense network, he explained, a system that linked our 17 worlds. The Guardian has provided access to these dormant systems. If reactivated, they would secure our position during this transition period. Laura interrupted with an urgent message. Director, we have reports of unrest on multiple council worlds. Military vessels from the Vorax Confederacy are ignoring Guardian directives. Their central government claims no control over these rogue elements. Kate made her decision quickly. Tell Ambassador Kale. I agree to the alliance, she instructed Laura. Earth will participate in reactivating the defense network. She turned to Dr. Foster. How quickly can we implement the dimensional communication system? Within 48 hours with the schematics provided, Dr. Foster replied. But the defense systems will take longer. Not if we work together, Kale interjected. Each founding world has different manufacturing capabilities, different resources. Together we can accelerate development. Kate nodded. Make it happen, she ordered her team. Then she addressed Kale directly. Tell the other founding world representatives. I propose an emergency summit here on the council station. We need a unified approach. As Kale departed, Laura provided another update. Director, the Guardian has called an assembly of all council worlds representatives from over 4,000 planets. Are arriving. The formal restructuring begins tomorrow. The station hummed with activity as thousands of delegates arrived for what would be the most significant council session in millennia. Kate spent hours in communication with Earth government, preparing for the new galactic reality. Human representatives were en route from Earth along with scientific teams eager to access the ancestral technologies. The assembly hall had been reconfigured, its traditional hierarchical arrangement replaced by a circular design with all seats at equal height. The Guardian hologram occupied the central position, its form still shifting between representations of the 17 founding species. Delegates of the 4,837 recognized worlds. The Guardian began. This assembly marks a fundamental restructuring of galactic governance. The Council as you have known it is dissolved. In its place, a new galactic union will form, based on the original founding principles. The chamber remained surprisingly quiet. The Guardian protocol's control over critical systems gave it undeniable authority. Many delegates, particularly from formerly dominant worlds, appeared resigned to the new reality. The 17 founding worlds will form the Restoration Committee during this transition. The Guardian continued. Together with elected representatives from all sectors, they will establish the new charter. Any attempt to interfere with this process will trigger additional security protocols. From her position among the Earth delegation, Kate watched the political maneuvering as formerly powerful species sought to maintain influence in the new structure. The Vorax Confederacy representative hissed objections, while the Syrian Union called for gradual implementation. Ambassador Harris, the Guardian, addressed her. Will Earth accept leadership of the Restoration Committee? Your world initiated this transformation. It is fitting that you guide its completion. Kate felt the weight of thousands of alien eyes upon her. This was far beyond her original mission. What had begun as a desperate gambit to gain recognition for Earth had transformed into responsibility for reshaping galactic civilization. Earth accepts this responsibility, she answered, standing to address the assembly. But we propose shared leadership with representatives from all 17 founding worlds and elected delegates from the General Assembly. No single world should hold disproportionate power. That was the mistake of the old council. The Guardian acknowledged this with a shimmer of approval. The assembly will proceed as Ambassador Harris suggests. It announced representatives will be selected through secure voting protocols. as the formal procedures. Continued. Kate received an urgent message from the dimensional communication system newly established with Earthfleet. Admiral Rivera appeared on her secure tablet. Director Harris, we have detected unusual energy signatures at the edge of our solar system. Show me, Kate requested. The display showed anomalous readings, massive power signatures unlike known Council technology. Something is emerging from dimensional transit, the Admiral explained. Our scientists believe these are ships, but unlike anything in Council records. Kate forwarded the data to Dr. Foster, who analyzed it quickly. These energy patterns, she reported. They match theoretical models in the ancestral archives, not Council technology. Something else. Kate felt a chill of premonition. The timing seemed too convenient as the galactic power structure reorganized. Unknown vessels approached Earth. Do we have defensive capabilities? She asked the Admiral. Limited, the Admiral replied. The Guardian disabled the Council warships near Earth, as promised, but our own defense systems are still in development. Kate made a quick decision. She approached the Guardian during a break in the assembly proceedings. We have detected unknown vessels approaching Earth, she reported. The energy signatures don't match Council records. The Guardian processed this information, accessing deep archives. The pattern is recognized, it finally stated. These signatures match exiled faction technology. Exiled faction? Kate questioned. Before the founding species were overthrown, a splinter group rejected Council authority. The Guardian explained they were exiled beyond the galactic boundary. Their return now during this transition cannot be coincidental. Kate understood the implications the power shift had attracted. Attention from beyond known space. How soon can the ancestral defense network be activated, she asked. The Guardian projected a status display. Partial activation is possible within 3 standard days, it answered. But full implementation requires physical restoration of control nodes on each founding world. The timeline was too long. Kate thought Earth needed protection immediately. She returned to her delegation. With Dr. Foster and her technical team, they reviewed the ancestral technologies, searching for immediate solutions. The dimensional shield around Earth shimmered with iridescent energy as the first exiled faction vessels arrived. Admiral Rivera watched from Fleet Command as the massive ships tested the barrier. Their sleek black hulls absorbed light rather than reflecting it, making them appear as voids against the stars. The shield is holding, the Admiral reported to Kate via the dimensional communication link, but they are probing systematically, looking for weaknesses. Kate nodded, reviewing tactical data. From her position on the Council station, similar reports came from other founding worlds, each under approach by exiled vessels, each deploying ancestral defense technologies with varying degrees of success. Director Foster has identified a pattern. In the shield probes, Laura reported, they are targeting specific harmonic frequencies, attempting to create resonance cascades. Kate turned to the Guardian hologram present in her command center. They know the defensive systems, she said. They are familiar with founding species technology. The Guardian confirmed her assessment. The exiled faction originated from the founding species, it explained. Though they rejected our principles, they retained knowledge of our technologies. This complicated the defense strategy, Kate thought. If the exiled understood ancestral systems, they would anticipate countermeasures. A direct technological confrontation favored their experience. We need to do something unexpected, she decided. Contact all founding world representatives. I have a proposal. Within an hour, representatives from the 17 worlds joined in a secure dimensional conference. The holographic figures appeared solid, despite spanning thousands of light years. Their expressions showed the same concern. Kate felt Ambassador Kale spoke first. Proxima 4 has deployed shield technology, but our scientists report the exiled vessels are adapting their approach. Penetration appears inevitable within 72 hours. Others reported similar timeframes. The exiled were methodically dismantling their defenses. Kate addressed the group. The ancestral technologies are known to the exiled, she explained. They anticipated our responses and prepared countermeasures. But there is one advantage we possess, that they cannot predict. Ambassador Nira from Centauri III tilted her head questioningly. What advantage? Our divergence. Kate answered. For thousands of years, our 17 worlds developed in isolation. Our species evolved differently. Our scientists approached problems through unique cultural and biological frameworks. Even with genetic manipulation, we became different from our ancestors. Realization dawned on the representatives' faces. Kate continued. What if, instead of relying solely on ancestral technology, we combine it with our own unique developments? Each world contributing approaches the exiled cannot anticipate, because they evolved after the exile. Earth scientists have already identified ways to modify the dimensional shields using principles from our independent research, Dr. Foster explained, appearing beside Kate. The modifications confound the harmonic probes. Ambassador Kale nodded enthusiastically. Proximan crystallography could enhance the structural integrity of the defensive systems. Our scientists developed these techniques in isolation. One by one, the representatives identified unique technological contributions, each world offering innovations unknown to ancestral records and therefore to the exiled faction. The Guardian observed this exchange with approval. This collaborative approach honors the original Council principles, it stated. Diverse perspectives creating stronger solutions than any single approach. Kate outlined the implementation strategy each world would share, their unique modifications through the dimensional network, creating a constantly evolving defense system that adapted faster than the exiled could probe it. While the scientific teams began this work, Kate returned to the Council Assembly. The political situation remained tense as thousands of worlds adjusted to the new reality. The former power blocks, particularly the Vorax Confederacy, continued to resist full cooperation. Ambassador Harris, the Vorax representative, approached her as she entered. This exiled faction threat conveniently appears just as you seize control of the council, it hissed, its forked tongue flickering with suspicion. Perhaps another deception. Kate faced the serpentine diplomat directly. The Guardian has confirmed the threat, she replied. Data from 17 separate systems shows identical attack patterns. If you doubt this, I invite your scientists to review our findings, the Vorax hissed skeptically. Even if real, why should non-founding worlds commit resources? To your defense, the old council may have fallen, but many worlds remember its benefits. Protection, stability, order. Kate understood the underlying message. Many council species had benefited from the old system. They feared losing privilege in the new arrangement. The exiled threat might even seem preferable to some, if it promised to restore the familiar hierarchy. Ambassador, she replied, this threat concerns all worlds, not just the founding 17. The historical records show the exiled faction sought domination of all species, not partnership. The Guardian can confirm their philosophy. The Guardian appeared beside them, projecting historical records. The exiled believed in engineered hierarchy. It explained, biological determinism, each species modified to serve specific functions in a controlled ecosystem. None permitted to evolve beyond their designated purpose. The Vorax representative recoiled at the evidence. Reluctantly, it conceded. This would threaten all worlds, Kate pressed. The advantage we need. Unified response, not division, she urged. Your species has valuable insights that could strengthen our collective defense. This approach gradually won support as Kate addressed similar concerns from other factions. The immediate threat overshadowed political disagreements. Even former council powers recognized that survival took precedence over privilege on Earth. The combined defensive strategy showed promising results. The shield harmonics shifted, constantly incorporating techniques from all 17 founding worlds. The exiled vessels struggled to maintain their systematic probing. As the defense parameters evolved unpredictably, Admiral Rivera reported cautious optimism. They have withdrawn to a higher orbit. She told Kate, their energy signatures indicate reconfiguration, possibly preparing new approaches, but we have gained time. Kate returned to her quarters for a rare moment of rest. The past 2 weeks had transformed galactic civilization. What had begun as a desperate bid for recognition had cascaded into revolution. She reviewed reports from Earth with a mixture of pride and concern. A priority message interrupted her thoughts. Dr. Foster appeared, looking excited. Director, we found something in the Ancestral archives, she reported, something the Guardian either didn't know about or didn't share. Show me, Kate requested. Dr. Foster displayed schematics for a massive construction. Ancient even by founding species standards, the dimensional anchor, Foster, explained. Our ancestors built a system to prevent unauthorized dimensional transit, effectively a gate that could close the pathways between galaxies and the exiled faction. Kate realized, precisely. Foster confirmed. The records indicate it was activated. During the original exile sealing them outside the galaxy, the system appears to have failed or been sabotaged approximately 300 years ago. This explained the timing. Kate thought the exiled hadn't just opportunistically returned. They had been planning infiltration for centuries. The Council corruption was part of their strategy. Preparing for full invasion, can it be reactivated? Kate asked. Foster nodded. The control systems are distributed across the 17 founding worlds. Each contains a component that must be synchronized. The technology combines dimensional engineering with biological keys, genetic signatures from each founding species. Kate immediately called an emergency meeting of the founding world's representatives. This discovery could change everything, she explained. The dimensional anchor would not just defend individual worlds, it would seal the dimensional pathways the exiled used to approach the galaxy. The implementation presented significant challenges. Each world needed to locate and activate their portion of the ancient system, components that had lain dormant for millennia, many buried or hidden to prevent discovery, control systems that required genetic activation from pure founding species, DNA untainted by later manipulations. Earth teams located their component beneath the Antarctic ice, where the first evidence of ancestral technology had been found. Other worlds reported similar discoveries in long-abandoned regions, while diplomatic efforts continued to unify the fragmented council. Kate focused on coordinating the technical challenge. Each founding world raced to restore their anchor component as exiled vessels continued their methodical assault on planetary defenses. The exiled recognized the threat. As founding worlds activated their anchor components, exiled attacks intensified. They abandoned the careful probing for direct assault. Massive energy weapons targeted critical infrastructure on multiple worlds Earth faced. The most concentrated attack, Admiral Rivera reported shield failures in 3 sectors. The orbital defense platforms activated secondary systems, but ground installations suffered damage. Casualties were reported from population centers near critical facilities. Kate addressed the unified council, now committed to resisting the exiled threat. We need more time, she explained. The dimensional anchor requires synchronized activation from all 17 worlds. 9 components are operational, but the others remain vulnerable. All came from an unexpected source, the Vorax representative rose in the assembly, my species posse.